So I am here with Jaide Mckriel for our Youth Entrepreneur segment, and I am so excited to be speaking to her for the next couple of minutes about her business. And Jaide Mckriel is the founder of the Tutor Router. Is that correct, Jaide? Did I mention the name
That's
correct?
correct. Yes,
And
that's correct.
interesting name, the Tutor Router. Just tell me, like, a bit, how did you come up with that name? What triggered that kind of name?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't actually come up with the name. So it was actually a friend of mine who came up with a different variation of the name. I think it was something Tutor Routers, something like that. And then we just played with it, and then I came up with the Tutor Router. And I think it's because like to put more emphasis on the tutor itself, because they're the ones that are being showcased in the business. I'm basically just delegating them, to the clients and things like that. So, they are the they are the ones holding the whole thing together because they are going out there to the clients and doing the job and stuff. So, yeah.
And I love that, about coming up with a name, because sometimes I feel as youth, that's what we do. We just try and put something together and then make it work,
Yes, exactly.
So Jay, tell me a bit about the business, the Tutor Router. What is it all about, and why did you start this business?
So the Tutor Router is basically a company that renders tutoring services. So the services that we render are for students who are in grades R to 12. So we're not only focusing on, children in primary schools and high schools, but also we want to develop early childhood education. So that includes kids who are like pre-primary as well. That's a very important aspect that a lot of tutoring companies don't actually focus on. And then also we offer proofreading services, for students who write essays and that type of thing. Writing is always, it's a hectic thing to do. And then you still have to always check to make sure that, your writing is good. There's no mistakes. So we do that we offer that as well. And then I started this company because, well, I have a lot of tutoring experience myself. And I was thinking, you know what, like, why not just use my expertise that I've gained over the years and use my experience and just start something here in my community. I mean, here in where I'm living right now in Elsies River, there is actually a lacking of a tutoring services that are being rendered to the children here and things like that. And a lot of, I don't mean to speak about my competition, but but a lot of these companies, they are geared towards a lot of communities where kids can afford tutoring and things like that. So I just really wanted to do something where I could help my community and also surrounding communities as well, where people face or kids face similar problems and things like that. So that's basically what I had in mind when I was starting this business.
I love that, and I think one of the things to the Tutor Router is that it's the education side of it. So just share with me a little bit more on the education itself, and your experience, and the kind of impact that you really want to make there, because I know that in regards to education, there can also be a divide between certain youth or younger pupils, individuals, based on where they're living, based on their education itself. So just share a little bit more about the education side, which I feel is very important in this day and age.
Yep, yes, definitely. I 110% agree with you. The education side is definitely very important, and I think it's very unfortunate that that divide still remains. Despite the fact that we are living in a democratic country right now, but there's still a lot of, as I mentioned before, a lot of communities lacking a lot of resources. A lot of kids not being able to afford the same things, or not being able to, or who are not getting the same opportunities that other kids may be getting. So basically, that's why I want to focus on that, to promote that to kids, especially now during lockdown. If you look at it during lockdown now, so in the community where I'm living in, it's really sad for me when I sit here and I see kids walking around outside, whereas other kids are busy doing online lessons, and they're not getting that same opportunity, so they're therefore falling behind. So I'm just trying to strategize and think of ways in order to bring, education to them, in order to come up with ways to keep them up to date with work and stuff, especially during this time while they're waiting to go back to school, besides the matriculants now who are already back. And, just to kind of bring that gap a little bit closer, so that, if we put everyone on equal footing, that's the point.
100%, and I love that. I think you kind of found your niche where you are operating in a space where perhaps maybe not a lot of other organizations or businesses are operating when it comes to the tutoring side of the product or service offering. So definitely, I think you found a gap there, and definitely something that you need to push hard and try and make the best, or try and give your best. And try to make the best out of the situation. I know that it's 2020, and when you started, or when you thought about this business, you probably had certain goals in mind for this year. And I'm not exactly sure when you started the business, but I just want to ask you about COVID-19 and how has that impacted you, or how has that impacted the business in a positive, in a negative way? Or was the Tutor Router actually a business that came from COVID-19?
That's a very good question. So the idea came about last year. It wasn't, nothing was launched, nothing was official as of yet, but it was something that was in the pipeline. Things came up and I left the idea, or not totally left it, but it was just like kind of on hold. Then lockdown happened. And I was just sitting at home. And to be completely honest with you, my mom called me one day from work and she was like, Jade, why don't you pick up the business again? You're sitting here at home. I'm working from home, by the way, as well, but I'm only working every second day because our schedule has been, cut, obviously. And my mom was like, why don't you just try to pick it up again? And that's what I did. And I officially launched the business in April 2020. So that was during lockdown, and lockdown has impacted it somewhat, even though it was launched during lockdown. I mean, we didn't think that it was going to last this long when the president announced that we would be going on a national lockdown. So the whole aim of the Tutor Router was, to do face-to-face classes. Our slogan says, routing quality tutors to your doorstep. So the whole aim was to get tutors out to clients, face to face. So because of the lockdown regulations, we had to resort to doing online learning. So basically what I'm doing with you now, now on Zoom. So that's what we've been basically doing for the last couple of weeks. The challenges, the negative aspect of that is that I'm not able to reach the learners that I spoke about previously, because a lot of them don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have laptops, they don't have computers. So that's for me a negative about the whole lockdown, is that I'm not able to reach the people I really want to reach. Not saying that I don't want to reach other people or people who can afford it, but there's a group of people that I really want to get out to and really want to make a difference in their lives. So I'm not able to do that right now. But the positive, of course, is that despite there being regulations, despite there being a national shutdown in place, I was still able to do this. I was still able to launch. I was able to get people to engage with me, people to support me by following me on social media and things like that. So that's just how the lockdown has basically affected the Tutor Router.
That's amazing, and I think most of it has been a positive. And I just want to also tell you, Jay, that that even though the COVID-19 has impacted your business in a somewhat negative way on some parts, it's not only you, it's many other businesses out there. So everyone has felt the pinch and everyone has needed to adjust. But I think you've done a great job so far, and also been monitoring the social media aspect of your business. So I've definitely seen growth on that side. But now share with me, what is, I know that in the beginning, everyone is always excited, when they're starting a business, they're full of energy, they're motivated, but somewhere along the line, sometimes things happen, COVID-19 happens, and then, it can affect your enthusiasm, it can affect your energy. So what keeps you going, or what motivates you really to keep on pushing the Tutor Router business?
So what motivates me? Basically, I have a goal in mind, Lucian, and that goal is to help as many people as possible. I feel like while I'm on this earth and while I'm here and I'm healthy and I can do it, and I really just want to make a difference in people's lives and touch as many people as possible, especially our youth in this country and things like that. There's a lot of negativity going on in the country right now, and it's easy to become despondent. Like you said, it's easy to become to lose motivation. And despite all of that, and there has been moments where I have felt like that, like, oh my gosh, like this just feels, like the challenges that I was facing, with the whole online learning thing, and it was just a bit challenging to get around. And I was just feeling, how am I going to get around to this? And I just told myself, Jade, you know, do it, start now, start up now. As soon as this blows over, you can reach so many more people. You're going to do what you have to do. I'm going to achieve my goal. I'm going to help those who really, really need the help. Um, so that's what keeps me going. That's my personal goal, my personal ambition, and that's to really make a difference.
I love that way of thinking, Jade, and finding it more and more with the youth and the young people of today, that they are wanting to lead more purpose, fulfilled lives,
Mm.
something where they are adding value and making an impact. So I think you're on the right track there with your values and what you want to achieve. And also, I just want to know from you that if you, with regards to your business, I know that you might not know anything or everything when it
Mhm.
comes to perhaps maybe the marketing aspect
Mm.
of the business. And so I just wanted from my side ask you if you have any, is there perhaps maybe a question that you have in regards to the marketing side of your business, or are there any challenges that you have been experiencing on that side?
Many challenges, I can say that, because marketing is not my forte. Like, I'm coming into this, I knew nothing about marketing. I knew nothing about brand management or putting yourself out there, and the niche, finding the niche, doing research on your target audience and all of that. It was just a whole other ball game for me. I mean, I can say this. I think people like you, Lucian, who do marketing, you guys make it look so easy. And then when you actually get into it, when you actually get into it yourself, and it's like, oh my word, what do I do now? What do I share? Or what do I post? Where do I post it? It's like, what I mean? So it's a bit challenging. And I've been following a lot of agencies such as yourself, and following yourself to get some tips and things like that. And to find ways on how to reach my audience that I'm targeting, and not only to do that, but to also keep them engaged. So I do have a question actually with regards to marketing on social media. So I wanted to know by you, because I've been dabbling a little bit in the advertising, that Facebook and Instagram offers. So I wanted to know, like, how would you be able to increase the organic reach of your social media? So you get the paid reach, which is the advertisements and stuff, and then you have the organic reach, which is just people coming to your channels, or to coming to your pages and things like that, and interacting with you. So I wanted to know by you if there's any tips you could possibly give me, and maybe other people out there who are starting a brand, who want to be influencers or business women or men, and we want to know how to basically increase that, the people coming to your page organically.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's a very good question. And I think the question stems a lot from, also for businesses wanting to save on costs, because the advertising side of it can really become expensive at times, depending on what it is that you want to achieve. But in terms of your question of organically, I think there were just two things that came to mind. Number one, I think that what you can do is to perhaps maybe to run some sort of competition where a specific learner or a specific individual, they have the opportunity maybe to win a session with you, with the
Mm-hmm.
tutor router. But what they need to do, obviously, on that certain post, they need to like it, they need to comment it, they need to go and follow your page. So it is an option that you have, that you can use, and to see what it is that's going to happen to your page when you are running it, because I do believe that it's all about experimenting. It's important for you to experiment with the business. So for the tutor router, it might work, it might not work, but then at least you know that when you have done it and when you have tried it, then it is something that you can look at. So do you have a question?
I think that's a very good idea, actually.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good idea.
So you
Definitely.
can, yeah, and you can perhaps maybe look at some sort of, I'm not too sure what kind of package you could put together, but you could either have it where there's a session with yourself, or it can be a couple of sessions that the learner or the student could win, and then they can experience it for themselves. You know, you're giving them a taste of what your service, what you are offering. So that is one way. I think another way is to put yourself perhaps maybe out there more, on perhaps maybe on with video content, perhaps maybe to speak about what it is that you're offering, also to speak about a bit about the education side. So perhaps maybe when it comes to the tutor router, maybe to tap on the education side of things. And I mean, the education side is, it's very broad, but I think that it's something that you can perhaps maybe come in from a professional point of view, and speak about things on why it's important to be educated. And I believe in education, and I do believe that you must always equip yourself. And I think you doing that will you will position yourself correctly in the industry, and more people will then latch onto you, and then invertedly, then you drive traffic to your business, to the tutor router, growing your page on social media. So I think that would have to be on a weekly basis, and then also then the learners that is already part of your business, perhaps maybe to try and tap in with them, and to share those experiences, to share those images across your social media platforms, as that is going to help drive your traffic to your pages.
Okay. I think that's really good ideas. Thank you so much for that, Rucien. And then there was one more thing I wanted to ask you. It's more of an opinionated question, or I actually just wanted your opinion on this. Now that things are more digital, in terms of marketing, people are using Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those things to market themselves and their businesses. What's your opinion on the old school methods, like posters and flyers and things like that? What's your opinion on using, the the manual methods? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that's something that will always be a huge debate between marketers. But I think that I think there's two sides to the question. The one side is, if digital marketing is definitely the future and where things are going. Okay, it's definitely where things are going. So it's definitely a opportunity for businesses to grow their brand and to transition their business into another avenue. And when we speak about those avenues, we're looking at the online newsletter, we're looking at Google Ads, you're looking at SEO, you're looking at social media. Those are only a few aspects to it. But I do think that when it comes to the traditional side of marketing, there are still there's a couple of consumers and individuals in the South African market that you can still reach, because they are still consuming that information. So at the end of the day, it's the question is really is where is the attention of the consumer? So the individual that I am wanting to reach, or that I am wanting to target, where would they be? What would they be reading? What would they be looking at? And I take a simple example. If you are wanting to connect with directors of companies, decision makers, then LinkedIn would probably be a good option for you. But if you're looking at perhaps maybe a mass market that does not necessarily go onto online platforms, or perhaps maybe have access to it, maybe the newspaper, and I use an example like the Tiger Burger, maybe that would be a better option than to go. But I always think that to integrate your when it comes to your marketing strategies and tactics, to integrate them together. So go with the route of traditional, and then you mix that with the online platform, because then it just allows you to target different types of consumers. So you get the individual who is online, and then you get the individual who's reading the paper as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for that. And then lastly, one last thing, with regards to SEOs, that that has been a little bit challenging for me. Like, what can you tell me anything about that? Like the optimizing your search pages and things like that to make it more easily found and things like that. Are there any tools that you can use to, to do the SEOs or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm not the expert in SEO, but I've had a little bit of experience in it. But what I can share with you from my experience, and that I've made over the last couple of years, is that with SEO, I think SEO is basically the ability for your page to be found online, or for content to be found online. So when people are searching, are you searchable? Are you going to be found on the first couple of pages or not? And I think a lot of that, from what I've seen, a lot of it comes from the content that you put out. And when I'm referring to content, I'm referring to the inclusion of a blog. Do you have a blog on your website? And because a blog is going to help you to write articles, it's going to help you to add information on a weekly basis, keeping it fresh on your platform. So the type of content, the type of articles that you are going to write about, that definitely has an impact on your ranking. And then also features that perhaps maybe that gives you publicity, online features. So if you are perhaps maybe being interviewed, so I give you a simple example. The Biz community, they featured our live marketing workshop. So what that does is that immediately, because it's on their online platform, it also helps with the ranking for Spottmedia when being found online. So online, getting involved with online publications, that definitely helps as well with your ranking, to be found on Google. So the important thing is trying to put as much information online, putting it out there as much as you can. So it's articles, not only your social media. YouTube is also a great platform that helps with the ranking. So as much content as possible that you can put out on there as well, that would help. And then you've got the paid side, where you are paying for AdWords, and you are using certain words, like, let's say, I just use an example off the top of my head: tutor, education. And I think based on the amount that you spend on that specific word, will determine also on your competitors. So if someone else is also in the same business, and they are spending, let's say, a 5 Rand to rank on the first page, on the number one page, you will probably need to maybe also spend 5 Rand, or maybe even 6 Rand, to kind of rank higher than them. So there's also online battle in terms of spending and getting and the ability to be seen online that's going to help you with SEO. So I think those are a couple of things. Just from my experience, as I made mention, I'm not an expert in the field, but from my experience and what I've learned a little bit on SEO, that's more or less that I've found with it. But if you would like, I can also perhaps maybe share with you more information after this with articles or so that could possibly help you.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. Any tips, any help, or anything that can help me learn as well. I would definitely appreciate that. I'm learning as I go on with this as well, and it's been amazing, this journey. I mean, it's been short, but I'm enjoying it. Every step of the way. I'm learning so much. I never thought I would be doing something like this and getting to interact with so many other people, so many other entrepreneurs, such as yourself, and interacting with other people that are also in the same platform. I just think it's been really cool.
No, that's awesome, and also Jade, I want to wish you well with your journey. And as made mention, you can definitely. I mean, you are already in contact with me on social media, as far as I can see. But you can definitely pop me any messages that you perhaps maybe or questions that you might have. So that is it. I have spent the last couple of minutes with Jaide Mckriel, the founder of the Tutor Router. Such an amazing session, and really a youth member that is energetic. She is she's got motivation. She is encouraged. She has a lot of energy within her. So we are looking forward to really see what the Tutor Router is going to bring to the table in the next couple of years. So thank you so much, Jade, for your time, and I wish you well for the rest of the journey.
Thank you so much for having me, Rucien. Okay, thank you for this experience. It was the first time I did something like this, so I really appreciate it.
Only a pleasure.
Okay, thank you.